Hey guys, this is AI Gaming 1776, and today I'm going to be doing a comparison of two gaming monitors. Now, both of these monitors are made by BenQ. Both of these monitors are 1080p, that's 1920 by 1080, and both of these monitors are 24 inches. But that's pretty much where the similarities end, because these two monitors fall on different ends of the spectrum, and that's for a lot of reasons. It's for how much they cost, it's for the features they have, it's even for the inputs that they use. Now, the camera's pointing at the XL2420G right now. That's the monitor on the right. And to your left a little bit, you can see the RL2455HM. And we'll be getting to that monitor in a little bit. But we're going to start with this one here first. Now, hooked up to this monitor, I have an Xbox One. It's playing the definitive edition of Tomb Raider. And to be honest with you, if you didn't know, this is a good version of the game, and it looks really good on the Xbox One. For an Xbox One game, it's fantastic, which I know is like kind of a backhanded compliment, but it really is. The team did a good job with this game. So, let me tell you about this monitor. And by the way, I've done videos for each of these respective monitors. This is just a video that's got the two of them side by side. And I'll be moving the camera around and showing you some different things as I go. So, this monitor here has a 144 hertz refresh rate. So when you hook it up to your PC, to my knowledge, that's about the highest frame rate that you can see right now. Like I said before, it's a 1080p monitor, 144 hertz refresh rate, and then it also has G-sync. So what G-sync does, it's really hard to explain in a short amount of time, but basically, you know how when you're computer gaming you usually have to use V-sync. If you don't use V-sync, you get screen tearing, but if you do use V-sync, you get locked to a certain number of frames. Well, frames per second. Well, what happens with G-sync is G-sync basically lets your monitor refresh at the same rate that the graphics card is refreshing at. So you could have an odd refresh rate, like 93 frames per second. So instead of the monitor being locked at 60 or 120 or 144, the refresh rate can change on the fly. So, and just so you know, whenever you get a G-sync monitor right now, it's April 2015 as I record this, whenever you get a G-sync monitor right now, there is about a $100 to $200 premium for G-sync monitors over what their normal counterpart would be. So that does affect the price of this monitor. It is pretty expensive, and I'll get to that in a minute. Now, one thing that makes this monitor very interesting is, hold on. Oh, I don't know if I had to press X or not. I pressed it anyway. So one of the things that makes this monitor very interesting is it's one of the few monitors on the market that doesn't just have G-sync. See, most G-sync monitors only have a display port, because that's the only way G-sync works, is via display port. And then that's it. That's all they've got. Where this also has two HDMIs. Let me reach in here and turn that down. Yeah, it's a little distracting when these guys talk. Sorry about that. So anyway, this monitor has DisplayPort, but it also has two HDMIs. And the reason why BenQ did that was so you could use one monitor for all of your gaming, as long as all of your gaming is done with, in 1080p. Because obviously, if you're on your PC doing 1440 gaming, you might not want to use the same monitor to play your PS4 or your Xbox One on. Anyway, oops. So this monitor has those inputs. It has DisplayPort, and it also has two HDMIs. So what you're paying for, because this is a $550 to $700 monitor, what you're paying for is the convenience of only using one monitor for all of your gaming, and this actually has two modules inside of it so that you can play your consoles or you can play PC and you can still enjoy G-sync. So I did a whole video on this monitor. I'm not going to go too much, I'm not going to go a lot deeper into it than that right now, but I am going to show you some features of this monitor here in a second. She's taking her time to get up there. Oh, she's up there now. I thought she was going to climb it a lot faster. Now, I should tell you that two of the strong points of this monitor, the two big strong points it has is the motion is incredible on it. Even Xbox One games look really good and really immersive on this monitor. And a lot of it's such a smooth monitor. There are frame rate drops on this. It is Tomb Raider and it is on Xbox One, and it does have, compared to the PC game, it has a lot of the settings turned up. So if you see frame rate dips or anything on here, it's more the game's fault and the Xbox One's fault. It's not this monitor. I used a much smoother game when I made the video for this monitor. Alright, so let's take some cover here. So let's say that you decide that you don't want to play your console. Now you want to switch it over to PC gaming. What you would do, and I actually don't have this connected to PC right now, but what you would do is this monitor, by the way, there's lights over here for buttons. The buttons are all touch buttons. They're not physical clicky buttons. They're some kind of, I don't know the word for it, but they're touch. Anyway, here, let me exit out there. So this is not lit up. It's perfectly dark while you're playing the game. And then the power button down here is kind of subdued while you're playing the game. But it senses when your hand is coming up to it. And it usually does a much better job than this. There we go. So once your hand comes up to it, these light up. Now, you have to push any of the buttons, doesn't matter which one, any of them to make the menu come up. And the reason they do that is so you don't accidentally trigger something that you didn't want to trigger. So what you would do is, it's called engine switch up here. You would push here, and then you would go up to G-sync, and then you would hit the check mark, which we're not going to do because I don't have DisplayPort hooked up. I don't have PC hooked up right now. My PC is actually hooked up to the other monitor that we'll be talking about in a minute. So what this monitor does better, remember this is an expensive monitor, $550 to $700. What this monitor does really well is it handles motion incredibly well, and then it's a TN panel, but they've tried to make it look like an IPS panel. And to be honest with you, the blacks are actually really good on this. And then there's a black level equalizer. I could make the blacks darker if I want. I don't really want to. This is exactly how I want the picture to look right now. But you can actually make the games look darker, look blacker, or you can actually lighten the blacks until they're almost like a gray. That way, let's say you're playing some kind of competitive game online and maybe someone's hiding in the shadows or something. It lightens the shadows. You're more likely to see your opponent. So I like it. It looks pretty good. Now, what I said in my video about this is I don't think the picture quality is as sharp on this as it is the cheaper monitor to the left. So these two monitors really hit you with trade-offs. You basically have to pick your poison, and I'll show you that in a minute. So again, this is an expensive monitor, but it has G-sync, and I have a video demonstrating the G-sync. It's running Grand Theft Auto 5. It's showing you how I can run higher settings and so on and keep a good frame rate. So you're getting G-sync, but you also get to use just one monitor to hook up two of your consoles and your PC. Now what I do is I use an HDMI switcher, and I can actually hook up as many consoles as I want. So again, I'll show you real quick. You put your hand over here, the buttons come up, and this isn't just for switching the engine. You can pick your picture mode. I'm using first person shooter 2, but there's standard, movie, photo, sRGB, eco, first person shooter 1, real-time strategy, and then there's some user presets below that. I'm not going to go through all these because I don't think they're really going to look good on camera as I switch through. So here, let me zoom this out a little bit. So what this monitor does is, and come down a little bit so you can see the nomenclature there, the XL2420G. So what this monitor does, it has some nifty features physically, okay? Told you before, it's got 2 HDMI inputs. It has 1 display port, but it also has a few party tricks. For starters, the monitor over to your left does not have height adjustment, but it is sitting on a riser. You can, here, let me see if I can find something to point at with. See, this is a riser that's about 4 inches higher. So that's how I get around the fact that the monitor on the left does not have height adjustment. But this monitor does have height adjustment. And not only does it have height adjustment, it rotates. Now, I've never done the rotating, but I know that it does. See, it's rotating. I have cables hooked up to it. I'm not going to go too far, but it does rotate in the portrait if you want it to. And then the height adjustment is a simple, you just pull it up and down. Now, it actually goes down pretty far. See, it goes completely down to the base. And then it's got a handle up here, and it has a headphone holder in the back. Here, let me flip my LCD around on here so I can see. Yeah, there we go. So there's a handle here that you can pick it up by if you're going to take it to LAN parties. And then there's a headphone holder hook on the back. And like I said, this goes up and down pretty easily, and you can also rotate it. So there's a lot of nifty physical features that many monitors lack. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut this monitor off so it's less of a distraction. I'm going to move it down over here out of the way. And then this is not only my old monitor, but it's probably going to continue to be my monitor. This over here is the much cheaper let's see if we can get this in frame. The RL2455HM. This is probably the monitor that I'm going to hold on to. And sorry for moving all this around. I like to do all my videos in one take. I don't do a lot of editing because I try to give you as close to raw footage as I can. That way you see things in the highest picture quality that I can offer. So, just so you know, the only thing this monitor does is tilt. This monitor costs a lot less money though. This is a $180 monitor. And the only thing it does is tilt. It does not pivot. It does not go side to side. It does not go up and down. Now the more expensive monitor that I just showed you, it does all of those things. This does none of them. It just tilts. That's it. That's all you get. But I still like this monitor. Oh, just so you know, this monitor also only has a 100, no, wait a minute. This monitor only has a 60 hertz refresh rate. Sorry, I'm moving furniture around. I had to move my chair to reposition to this monitor. Okay, so this only has a 60 hertz refresh rate. I like the other one because it has 120. 144 is kind of flaky in some games, but 120 looks really, really good, the other monitor. This monitor only goes up to 60. So, also the monitor I just showed you, remember I told you it had good black levels. The motion is better on the more expensive monitor. The black levels are better on the more expensive monitor. This monitor that you're looking at right now is actually kind of washed out. Now, I don't know how much of that you'll be able to tell in the video because you are looking at a camcorder pointed at a monitor, and then that video gets uploaded onto the internet and then you stream it. So, you know, it's kind of hard to really represent it. But anyway, see the shadow of the motorcycle? That would be blacker and deeper on the other monitor. The other monitor does, in a lot of objective ways, have a better picture quality. But here's the problem. It's an aesthetic choice for me. The other monitor does not have as much sharpness as this does. This is very, very sharp. This image here that you're looking at is so much sharper. I can see very clearly, plain as day, the tread on the tires on this motorcycle. I can see the little drill holes in the discs. On the other monitor, even when it's turned up to maximum sharpness, it's more ambiguous. You don't really see the tread on the tires. You don't really see the drill holes in the brakes. Another thing here, and this is what this is why I stopped where I did in the game before I set the camera up and recorded this, is the paving stones on this monitor look beautiful. Remember, this is the cheaper monitor. It only has 60 hertz refresh rate, but the paving stones pop. And again, it's because of the sharpness. Now, the trade-offs are the blacks are nowhere near as good on this monitor. The shadows are not as deep. The motion, again, it's only 60 hertz refresh rate. The other one has a much better motion engine, but it's just not as sharp. Now, a lot of people when they game do not care about the tread on the tires. No one cares. I mean, most people probably don't. I do, though. I like those little details. So for me, I will take a washed out picture. Let's see if music comes on. Oh, I had the volume down anyway. So I will take a washed out picture, and I'm kind of okay with that, as long as I get to see all the details that I like. Now, when I got the more expensive monitor, and I talked about this in my video yesterday, like you can see in the black top all the little gravel and everything. This is very realistic blacktop. I mean, this isn't just some copy and paste job. I mean, this looks like blacktop that's been repaired over time, and there's all these little different pieces, and I like that. Now, I know that the colors are more washed out on this monitor. I know that the motion is not as smooth on this monitor. I'm aware of all of that. But this monitor still subjectively is more appealing to me. I was hoping that the more expensive monitor was just going to look like this and have G-sync. That's really all I wanted. And the higher refresh rate. As you can see in the corner over there, upper right-hand corner, I'm sorry, Fraps is going at about, it just went into the low 40s. Let me show you my settings real quick. I've shown you the settings in a couple of other videos, but obviously you're watching this one. So 60 hertz, MSAA can only be on 2 in this game. Not in this game, but with this monitor. See, the other monitor has G-sync, so I can have MSAA times 4. I have FXAA on, and then everything else, including the reflection quality and the MSAA for the reflection quality, everything else is as high as it can go. I even have, over on advanced graphics, I extended the distance of the scaling, and I extended the shadows distance. So, but this looks really good. It would look a little bit smoother if I was running MSAA 4, as most of you probably know, and it would be at a really nice playable frame rate if I had G-sync. Because again, the other monitor has G-sync, and I have a video detailing that. So this looks a little more washed out than the other monitor. And the motion is not as good. The motion is addicting in the other monitor. I actually kind of miss it while I play this. I can tell the difference. The motion is very good in the XL2420G. But like I said, it comes down to, for whatever reason, these little OCD things matter to me. I like, even when the wheel's moving right now, I can see all of the tire tread in that motorcycle in my tire. The cars next to me, I can see their tire tread. I can see it perfectly. I can see all of the distinct markings in the tarmac. And for whatever reason, that is something that I like about gaming. For whatever reason, it's a little thing that I enjoy. So it's a trade-off. You know, the other monitor has better looking motion. The other monitor has deeper blacks. The other monitor is less washed out. But I like being able to see the little details of my games. I like the sharpness. I like a very sharp picture. So because I have it so sharp, and I don't know if you can tell on here, you probably cannot, but the signs really contrast. They really pop, like the lit up signs right there. Now, they don't look bad on the other monitor. Oh, paving stones. Things like paving stones look great on this monitor. And it's those little nerd things that I like. You know, when I play Assassin's Creed, I like to go on the rooftops, and some of the buildings have certain kind of tiles on them, whether it's like terracotta or stone or whatever it is. I like stones. I like paving stones. I like the stones on the roofs of buildings. I like the tread on the tires. So for me, it is a trade-off. The motion is not handled as well on this monitor, but this doesn't look bad either. It is washed out. I had a friend come over. He doesn't do PC gaming. I had a friend come over and I showed him these monitors and he was like, dude, the one on the left, this one right here, he said, this one's a little washed out. And I was like, yeah, I know. I know it is. It's washed out. So you get more detail and a sharper picture over here, but you only get 60 hertz refresh rate. You don't get G-sync. You don't get as good a motion. The picture's more washed out, but you have those extra details. And this doesn't look bad. If you can see this in real life, this doesn't look bad. So let me give you the model numbers again real quick. The one that you're looking at right now is the RL2455HM, and the one I showed you at first is the XL2420G. They're both 1080p. They're both 24 inches. The one you're looking at now is $180 on Amazon, and the one I was showing you before, I got it for $550 on Amazon, but its list price is $700. Best Buy is selling it for $610 right now on their website. Best Buy sells both of these well, okay, I know Best Buy sells the first one I showed you. I'd have to look it up to make sure they sell this one. And the reason I point that out to you is I would suggest you buy your monitors from some place that has a good return policy. Now, Best Buy will price match Amazon, and they normally let you return the products. So Best Buy is a good place to buy things if you don't know whether or not you'll like them. Now, you got to be careful. You can't do that with all products because for some reason, sometimes a product has a different item number at Best Buy and they can get away with quoting you a different price. They won't price match Amazon. But for the XL2420G, that other monitor, I'm pretty sure that it has the same item number at Best Buy as it does anywhere else. So you should be good there. Well, Amazon, that's what matters because that's who they'll price match. Target price matches Amazon too, but obviously they're not going to sell things like this. But if you're buying games, when Target has a sale, Target often has a buy one, get one half off sale. They will price match Amazon and still give you buy one, get one half off. So for some of you, that might matter. All right, so there you go. That's 3 videos in total. One comparing the two. And then each of these monitors has their own respective video that I made. And hopefully this helps you guys out. One is cheap and doesn't have G-sync and is a little washed out. And the other is not washed out, has good blacks, good motion, has G-sync. Has a lot of nifty features like low blue light levels and things like that. But it's also super expensive. So hopefully this helped you guys out. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. This has been AI Gaming 1776. Thank you very much. And how about I dramatically crash off the motorcycle to end the video. All right, y'all have a good night.